Hello, I'm currently in my PJs and I'm about to do a voiceover for this video, but basically today I am going to be painting seashells and turning them into like DIY trinket trays. Um, so I'm gonna keep this intro really short, but I just wanted to show face, put a face to the name. So hi, KVW Art, Kaylee. Please like, subscribe, all that stuff. I hope you enjoy this video. Let's just get into it. Hello and happy summer. Today I am going to be painting two seashells that I found on a beach in Gloucester, Massachusetts. And so basically I went to this beach with my family and I saw these huge clamshells and I was like, oh my gosh, I really want these. And then I was just gonna leave them, whatever. But then my grandma grabbed them and said, oh my gosh, you have to keep them. And I was like, I don't know if I should. What am I gonna do with them? And she was like, just keep it because I love her, but she has a lot of sentimental value things, so she has a lot of stuff that she thinks I should keep. And so basically, I gave in, and I was like, okay, I guess I'll keep them, whatever. So it's been about like 4 months since I originally got the shells, and they were sitting in my trunk for the longest time. They were just kind of like sitting in the trunk, basking in the heat, and all of a sudden, I was like, oh. I saw Mariah Elizabeth's new video of her painting seashells, and I was like, what if I just turn these into trinket trays and I paint these? And then I could have a little thing to hold my rings, or I could sell them, wink wink, whatever, link in bio. um, and I was like thinking about it, and I was like, well, I guess I'll do that because it's better than them sitting in my trunk or getting thrown away when they're these just pretty shells. So anyway, yeah, I decided to do trinket trays, DIY trinket trays. So I'm starting off with this little ocean background. This is actually a recreation of a lino block print that I actually did in high school. So like 10 years ago, because it was my sophomore year. And I think that was 2016 was my sophomore year, or 2015. I don't know. But anyway, so I did it then, and I did this blue shark in front of the ocean, so I carved it into the lino block. We had a really cool art teacher, actually. He was the best. I forgot his name, but he's cool. And so we did that cool lino print, and then I was like, what if I recreated that, but on the shell and in paint? And that's what I decided to do. So it's still like kind of simplified. I obviously didn't do the water super detailed, one because I didn't want to, two because it's hard, and three because I hate doing water detailed. I can't get the hang of it and get it right. So I was like, I'm gonna do this very stylized, like Studio Ghibli-esque water with this blue whale. So that's what I did. And I ended up really liking this. I'm selling it, but I don't know if I actually want to get rid of it. So yeah, it's like, I don't know, 40 bucks in my Etsy shop. Which, yeah, it's a higher price than the other one because I have a little bit of an attachment to this one. But anyway, yeah, this blue whale on this shell, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's summer, and I ended up getting really excited, and I was like, I want to paint so many more clamshells. But did you know, in Gloucester, since it's such like a tourist town, to go park for the day is like 35 bucks. That's as much as I'm selling the shell for. $35. And I'm not even guaranteed a shell that I can paint and turn into a trinket tray. And then why is it so much to park? I mean, I don't know. And you have to reserve beforehand. I just think that's kind of wackadoodle. So basically, I was like, okay, well, I'm not gonna go get any more, so I need to make sure that these turn out good because I do not want to pay 30 something dollars for parking. That's absurd. Sorry, yawning because it's 9 o'clock and I usually go to bed at like 7:30. I know, old lady timing. So, anyway, when I found out that it was that much to park, I was like, well, that's gonna have to be like a whole day thing because I'm not gonna pay $35 to park just to go during low tide and maybe find a shell. Like, if I'm gonna pay for $35 to park, me and my kids are gonna go, and my husband, and I'm gonna make it a whole day beach trip thing. But I keep seeing all these shark things everywhere with the beaches and all these Cape Cod sharks, and I was like, I am terrified of the ocean. It's weird because when I was a kid, I used to go as deep as possible, like ignorance is bliss, whatever. And now as an adult, I am terrified of the ocean. I cannot. It just each year it gets worse, and I'm more and more scared. Anyway, so I started doing this like Hawaiian flowers, sort of that, you know what I'm talking about. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do that, and it's gonna be cute and summery. And then I was like, you know what? I hate this. I was just doing it with Poscas, and I literally hated it. So I decided, I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna paint it black and then I'll start over. But then I started dabbing it because I put way too much paint. So this wasn't, I didn't have a plan. I was just like dabbing it with the black, and I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. It looks like, yeah. So I was like, okay, well, deep underwater, I'll do some blue and then I'll just paint something on top of it. I still didn't know exactly where I was going with it. And then I thought, anglerfish. And I was thinking about it. I was like, yeah. And then as I was doing this, I was like, well, that's not that's literally directly in the center. How am I gonna do an anglerfish just on the right or left side if it's directly in the center? So I moved it over. I did the glow with my fingers because honestly, look at that texture. The texture is just mwah, chef's kiss. And then I went in with a Posca again, just trying to get my bearings, trying to map out what I was doing because I just feel like it's more controlled. And if I went in with a paintbrush, I'd get lost. So I went in with the Posca. I started to, oh my gosh, I can't stop yawning. Started to map out like different highlights, different areas. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is perfect. I love it. And I was mapping out the mouth, and so I just erased all the teeth that I just did basically. And yeah, basically I just did like a layout of what I was gonna do. Just did a very simplified thing with the Poscas. That way I can go in with paint and I could feel a little bit less overwhelmed because I was sitting and staring at this little blob of white for like 2 days, and I was like, I was nervous to do this anglerfish. Okay, it was intimidating. Anglerfish are like, they're cool, but they're bony and they're not like, they don't look like most fish. And when looking at the anatomy of it, I felt like I was about to do the yellow submarine from from the Beatles. So I was like, I needed to go in with a generic plan. So I went in with some brown. I had this like, I think it's called like red oxide or something, but it basically looks like rust, and that was like the perfect color for what I was looking to do. And I just did that like red oxide color, regular like brown, and then I think burnt umber, and then just black and white, and that's what I got it with. So I started doing all these little fine lines. I got this that yellow brush from an art box. I don't remember which one, but it's become like my favorite brush. I freaking love this brush. You wouldn't think you could get fine lines with it because it's a little bit fatter, but it works really nicely. So I was using that brush. I was getting all the details in, getting the highlights. I was using like the main highlights. I was using that red oxide color, and then for the teeth and the very very stark highlights, I was using white because I figured it's not a perfectly accurate photo anyway. I'm just going to use white because I know you're not supposed to use plain white, but that's what I was doing. I was whatever. So anyway, anglerfish. These teeth. Oh my gosh, these teeth are weird, man. It's like the front ones go straight down, but the back ones go like towards the front of the mouth, and it's just like. And then I switched brushes to this blue brush, and I was like, oh yeah, it's smaller, it's gonna be easier. Wrong. I was so wrong. That brush was so annoying, and it had that one stray hair, so it kept making little stray lines everywhere. And I was having so much trouble, and I didn't know if I wanted the eye white or black, and I decided on white. And then finally, I just varnished it. I was like, yep, that's it. We're going in with varnish. And since I used Posca, I remembered that for some reason, Posca and varnish do not mix well together. For some reason, it just tears the Posca right up. It's literally like it's erasing the Posca. So annoying. So I was trying to be very delicate and not let it get pulled up. It did a little bit. I'm gonna say that. So the teeth got a little bit more yellowy, which is fine because I guess that's more realistic. Even though I wanted the white, but it worked out. So anyway, here's the final pieces for both with them all varnished and pretty, and I love how it looks. and I was doing the spin thing, and I don't know, I couldn't get it right. I was trying to get it to spin all the way around at once and do like a cool reveal. It didn't work, but I don't know. It's cute. I love this one. And this one is so neat. They're like polar opposite trinket trays, which I kind of love that about them. Like, go off. It's for both vibes. It works so well. Look how cool he looks. That's the yellowing in the teeth I was talking about. But yeah, anyway, I think these are just the coolest trinket trays, and I'm so excited about them. Anyway, all my links are in the description. Thank you for watching.